Hey, g'day guys, Kristen Harper here, and today I'm joined by Miriam Chancellor. And Miriam Chancellor is a leading public speaking and presentation coach, and she has her own business called Naked Audience. Now, the purpose of these discussions is I'm calling them lockdown learnings. At the moment, we're at home. We have I'm not saying plenty of time to do some learning, but if there's one thing that I've learned in sales over the years is there's a number of things to sort of learn in public speaking, and clear and effective speaking has really helped me in my career. And even more recently, I've worked with Miriam just on an event I spoke at. And although I was confident, having some real structure behind it and how I practice it really helped me. And I think for a lot of people that are in business, that are in sales, it's a really good skill to learn. And again, it's about how can we leverage this time at the moment. So, Miriam, thank you very much for joining me today. Give yourself a wee bit of an introduction, and
sure, thanks.
It'd be great.
So, as already mentioned, my name is Miriam Chancellor, and I am founder and director of Naked Audience, a public speaking and presentation coaching consultancy, and I lead Auckland Toastmasters as president.
Awesome, and that must be, so how long have you been doing that for?
Well, Naked Audience only started in January, which was kind of a consolidation around what I was already doing. So I've been doing presentation and public speaking for.
And what about Auckland Toastmasters? Because I would be guessing that you would see probably all different levels of people that come in and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a part of the club for 4 years and have been president for about the last year. Yeah.
Awesome. And you tell me, why do you think it's important to be able to speak well?
Very good question. Within a professional context, I think regardless of the industry, people that are in positions of leadership will at some stage find themselves in a setting where they're having to present well in front of a group, whether it's to their team or leadership or a board. It's a natural part of a high performing role. And if you can speak well in front of a group, if you can speak clearly and concisely, then you will stand out, because the average person does struggle in these settings. So if you can do it, you're ahead of the group already.
Yeah. And what are some of the most common mistakes that you see people making?
One of the most common mistakes would be around communicating a clear and concise message. Because of course, a clear answer or idea or message reflects clear thoughts. And I think that's something you found, as you were mentioning earlier, around your keynote that you gave the other week. It was about consolidating that message and aligning a clear structure around it that really enabled you to communicate confidently and also enabled your audience to easily follow what you were saying.
I found with that as well is actually just cutting a lot of the fat out of it, cutting a lot of because I found that if I'd start rambling, because I was getting nervous. Yeah. And I was really good to be able to learn how to, I guess, cut away all the other stuff that didn't really needed to be in there, then have that structure in behind it. That's definitely helped, not only sort of public speaking, but just within my role as well.
For sure.
And, with having with having a team and having to communicate, and that's been probably one of my key learnings. Just on preparation, do you have any tips? I guess for the audience, anybody watching, do you have any tips on how you can become a more effective speaker?
Great. Yeah, preparation is absolutely critical. And I think the starting point is understanding the objective of your speech, the purpose of the speech. What are you trying to communicate? And usually that can be summed up within a statement. I want to persuade, inform, entertain, whatever, on this. It can be easily summarized, and that should influence the rest of the presentation and really help determine what to include and what's to exclude, because what to exclude is just as important as what to include.
Yeah.
And once you've got that objective, you want to ask yourself a series of questions around the setting in which you are speaking, whether that's in person or over VC. So, you know, those questions would be, who are you speaking to? What are you speaking on? What are you expected to speak on? What are your audience's existing beliefs on what you are talking about?
Yeah.
What are your time constraints? You know, and once you are able to answer all these questions, your presentation becomes less about you and what you want to say and more about delivering something of value to your audience.
So you're saying the more prepared you are, the easier the presentation is.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it depends on the context, right? Because if for an interview, for example, you want to keep things spontaneous, and I mean, we could get into you know, preparation around use of notes, which is a big thing for people, but perhaps we save that for another time. But absolutely, preparation is important, and it helps. I think for a lot of people, nerves are quite a limiting factor, and it prevents people from wanting to get into situations when they're speaking to a group.
Yeah.
And preparation, in the short term, preparation helps reduce nerves.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're going into a setting and you're feeling confident in what you're going to say. But in the long term, a great way to reduce nerves is to just, you know, seek out those opportunities.
Yeah.
Exposure is everything. No one is born as a natural speaker. As you were saying before, Kristen, you know, for you, it's easier now than it used to be because you've done this so many times before. You know, you're used to dealing with people, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Just sort of practice.
Absolutely. And you know, I was thinking about it the other day about, you know, why are people so fearful about public speaking? And I think it's a fear of, it's a whole lot of what ifs. You know, what if I forget my lines? What if they don't like what I'm saying? But when you put yourself in those situations, it's like it demystifies the fear. You know, it suddenly becomes, okay, so this is actually what it's like, and it unpackages it, and things become more manageable.
And the fact that we're all living on VC at the moment, we're all doing Zoom calls, it's probably going to be this way for the next wee while. You've really taken that same sort of context to whether you're in person, whether you're up on a stage, or even whether we're on a discussion like this. It's the same preparation, the same thought process around it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The principles of effective communication are the same. Sure, things become less relevant, like, you know, utilizing a stage or body language, or things become less relevant and things become more
you can
relevant.
wear shorts and jandals at this time and then have a tie on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for sure. And look, I'll just segue into something that I'm doing at the moment, Kristen, if you don't mind. Like a lot of people, I've had to adapt my offer in the marketplace during this time, and something that Naked Audience has launched is a online public speaking or presentation coaching workshop, so people can understand how to effectively communicate via VC, because obviously we're doing it so much more, and even when this virus settles down, I suspect that we'll still continue to use these technologies. So knowing how to use it, knowing how to be an effective communicator via VC will set you in good stead going forward.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Look forward to seeing that. And I think that'd be great, because even some of the meetings that I'm having, just using the technology and how to get bits and pieces up has been quite interesting. But hey, look, Miriam, thank you very much for your time. Really, really good to talk with you and
likewise,
and hear about this, because I think it is a good time to start learning some of those steps of how to become more of an effective speaker. But appreciate your time. We'll speak again soon.
Thanks, Kristen. See you.
Cool. Thank you.